Good morning, everyone. Good morning, or good evening for those down under, and good afternoon for everybody else. I think I've covered everybody there. All right, so taking a couple of days off Sebastian's case because Saturday marked the 3-year mark of Summer Wells being missing, and there was an update from the TBI, only a short update, but still better than nothing. And a bunch of news came from that. So I spent a couple of days talking about Summer Wells. And hi, Kyle, I'm doing a live stream. And also, yesterday was episode 1 of the Stearns Files. So episode 2 will be 6 p.m. my time today, which will be 1 p.m. Eastern, to coincide with the lunch break of the Karen Reid trial. So it's all go. It's all go. If anybody watched episode 1 of the Stearns Files yesterday, there was an issue. It was a really weird issue, right? The live stream went fine. And then I got an email or a notification in my studio saying that the video had been removed. So I went and found the email, and it told me that my live stream had been removed for harassment and bullying, which was just bizarre. Bizarre. However, when I went to the actual video itself, the video was there. So it seems that it was taken down for a short space of time, which triggered the response, like telling me that the video had been removed, but then it must have been immediately put back up because it's fine. It's been there. I played it off another account, pretended I was just a regular user and not a creator, and it played fine. I don't know. It's called the bullying harassment policy, but I think it's when you mention an address. Like I had two Sebastian Rogers videos removed, if you remember, a while ago. And one of them, like, it gives you the timestamp where the problem was. And one of them was for showing Sebastian's house. And then the other one was for mentioning the school in White House. Absolutely bizarre. And I appealed both of those, and the appeals got rejected. So the videos stayed down. But with this live stream, like, I'm reading through documents that have been redacted by the state of Florida. So these are discovery documents that the state of Florida have approved for public consumption. And because it was a live stream, I couldn't, I don't know. I think because it was a live stream, like the auto bots, I don't know what they're called, like the automated system, flagged it because I talked about Old Hickory Tree Road, because that's where Maddie's body was found. And I think that must have flagged on the automatic system, but then it got put back up. I don't know why it got put back up, because I didn't need to do anything. I didn't appeal or anything. No. I don't think it's any one person that's behind it. I really don't think it is. I think it's their automated system. I think their automated system flagged that I mentioned an address, but then I don't know what system would have responded to it being put back up. I don't know whether an actual person watched it, like from YouTube, and decided that it was flagged incorrectly. It's not Bullhorn Betty. No, it's not Bullhorn Betty. No, it's not. It's not. It's an automated system. That's what it is. And their automated system makes a lot of mistakes. So I don't think it's people flagging videos. It's not, because it happens too quickly. But anyway, all's well. So it'll be interesting to see whether a similar things happen with episode 2 of the Stearns Files, because I'll be reading through the same documents that are redacted, that are approved for public consumption by the state of Florida. And there's nothing in there that is contravening the policies of YouTube. So, all right. So that will be 6 p.m. my time. If you, I'm reading through the entire discovery that we've got so far. So it's not as a mammoth task as it seems, because there's an awful lot of redacted pages. So 896 pages gets cut down by a lot when you consider the amount of redacted pages. And then some of them are just logs, you know, they're just like dispatch logs and things like that, which you obviously can't read. So it's pages and pages and pages that we can just skip through. But I'm doing it in manageable chunks, like of under an hour, so that they're easy to watch on the replay. So, all right, let's see who's in the house. So Naomi Rose, hello. Did I check my emails? I checked my emails last night because I had to go and find my YouTube email that told me that my video had been removed, but then wasn't. Made an interesting reconstruction of the lights in the night video. Changed it to a day video. All right, I haven't seen that. It's like the Wild West in my emails. It's literally the Wild West. So, unless I'm looking for something specific, then let me just see. Why am I getting all these? I must be on some kind of mailing list. I'm getting like we've got a general election coming up in the UK in July. I'm getting loads of political emails. I must be on like a I don't know, a mailing list somewhere. So that's my YouTube. When did you send it? Oh, is it this? Are you called Ultimate Genius? Are you Ultimate Genius? Because put the image in an art package. Okay. So I think this, yeah, this is it. All right. Okay. Let me save this, and then I can show it on the screen. All right. It's exported. Okay. Okay. So this. All right. So that's the image. So what this is, and what it appears to be, is a screenshot from, do you know the video of the truck? I'm going to actually talk about that today, but the light that comes on, if you remember, we talked about it late last week. So the video that is taken from this house on Stafford Court. So the corner house on the corner of Stafford and Kellen, and this camera here caught a light coming on that appears to be kind of here, a light coming on. So I played this video loads, but let's play it again so that everybody, not everybody who's here today might have seen this. All right, so this this camera on the house on the corner of Stafford and Kellen, we don't know what time these things happened. Now, it's the same camera that caught the lights at something past 5, which Seth and Chris had been told is a trash truck on Honeysuckle Drive. This is different. This is a different time. However, as you can see, when the video plays, the clock doesn't move. This is stuck. And it's not just stuck from the 24th of the 2nd from a few days previous, because of course this is the 26th of the 2nd when Sebastian went missing, but this is from 2023. So this clock hasn't worked for a whole year. So it's just, the time is just stuck. And it's been stuck since the 24th of February, 2023 at 3:11 and 4 seconds. So this light comes on. So watch here. So these are the trucks, vehicles on the driveway. You can see the edge of the driveway there. You can see a vehicle there. You can see a vehicle there. And this is the mailbox. And then those are floodlights from a house further down Stafford. And this tiny dot here is the light on this house. There. Light on that house. Light directly across. So the camera's here. Now the camera's actually pointing to the driveway. So it's covering the driveway, but it captures Stafford. It doesn't catch Kelling, but it captures Stafford. All right, so if we just play this video, the light comes on here. There. So I think that's when the that's either a headlight or a tail light. When it triggers the camera, it becomes visible on the camera. And there's the light. Okay, so that's the video that we're talking about. All right, so this is a screenshot of the light. There's either the headlight or the tail light, depending on what direction the vehicle's facing. And I said it's pulled in on the side of the road. So this is the day image. No, that's the wrong place. That's the wrong place. Because there isn't a road going up there. That camera can't capture that angle. If you look at this, you look at where the camera captures, you see the camera is facing this way. So it's caught the mailbox, and then it captures the drainage ditch over the road and this light, but it won't capture this road. That's Kelling Lane. It won't capture that. So that's the wrong place. And this isn't a truck. I thought that was a truck at first, but it's not. That's the mailbox. So you've got the grass verge, and then you've got the mailbox. That's the mailbox. And that's over the road. That's the corner of that there. And then it's caught this drainage ditch here. So the vehicle is here. Like, it's pulled off the road onto this verge. So the mailbox there, you see the grass verge, the mailbox. So that isn't a truck. That isn't a truck. So no, that's the wrong place. Okay, all right. Well, thanks anyway. But that is the wrong place. All right, I'm way behind in the chat now. Let's have a see. Good morning, everybody. Every video is factually incorrect. The last few videos regarding Sebastian have been factually incorrect. What my videos are just everybody else's videos, because my videos are as factually correct as I can possibly make them. I can only account for my videos, and my videos are as factually correct as I can possibly make them. We all make mistakes, absolutely. And if I make a mistake, I correct it. But if you're saying my videos are factually incorrect, then you need to tell me why. You need to tell me why. All right, so this is about the Stefan Stearns video. I'm going to move down the chat a little bit. Yeah, it's all AI. It's all the AI bots that get things wrong on YouTube. It also deletes comments for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Like if you're getting comments removed from my comment section, it's not me doing it. It's not me doing it, I promise you. It's YouTube. It's strange. It's strange. What do I make of the audio? Absolute complete nonsense. 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 Sorry if I've covered what? What am I meant to be covering? Oh, the audio. No, the reason why I haven't covered the audio is because it's nonsense. I'm not putting nonsense on my channel. So you're not going to see that on this channel. You are not. Absolute meaningless content. No. Not going to see that on this channel. It is sitting parallel to the mailbox, yes. Oh, I've had shingles. I've never had it. I remember my nan getting it though, and she was in a lot of pain with shingles. So are you feeling better? The mailbox? No. It's not. It really isn't. I thought that at first, and it isn't. It's the mailbox. I promise you, it's the mailbox. It can't possibly be a truck. From where that camera is facing, it can't be a truck. It's the mailbox. Based on the positioning of the camera and based on the lights it's captured and the vehicles it's captured on the driveway, that's the mailbox. No, I'm not going to look again because I know for a fact that is the mailbox. It's not a truck. I promise you it's not a truck. That is the mailbox. It's the grass verge at the edge of the road and the mailbox. And then the darkness is the road. And then on the opposite side, you can see the beginning of this like feature, wherever this feature is here. And then you've got the shading is the drainage ditch. And it obviously, because this image has been zoomed in, because the clone who filmed this, the clone who released it, zoomed in, and it's grainy anyway because it's it's night vision. But yeah, it's and you're in the wrong place. From where the camera's facing, it cannot possibly have captured a road up here. The camera would have had to have been in the middle of this road. The camera would have to be in the middle of this road, and it isn't. Like, that's the image that you're saying is, you're saying it's there, or even a bit further up, like that. And it's not. It's absolutely not, because the camera isn't there. The camera is there, right there. All right, so I'm going to move on from that. I can see how it's grass in the mailbox. It is the grass in the mailbox. I thought it was a truck at first. I did. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to talk about. Now, there's a lot of nonsense. So we've had the nonsense of the audio come out in the last few days, which you are not going to see on this channel. We've also had this kind of nonsense coming out in Facebook groups again. I love it when anonymous participants post in Facebook groups. I love it. I love it that somebody is willing to put something very, very controversial into a Facebook group and isn't willing to put a name to it. I love it. I love that. It's my favorite thing. But yet this is being shared about, like, this is Twitter. And this is someone called Rose on Twitter. This is interesting. I hope this person found the courage to talk to the TBI if they're not making things up. Well, they're making things up. They're making things up. Some heavy accusations about what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Then again, anyone could have posted it. Well, yes, someone anonymous has posted it. I didn't want to do this, but I have to. I have been having nightmares and I can't handle it anymore. Cue the world's smallest violin. I am Redacted's cousin. Okay. We grew up attached at the hip. I love him, but he holds so much information. I have just been feeling so sick from this. Last month, Chris confided in me that he informed me that Redacted killed Sebastian. So who's betting that says Katie? Who's betting that says Katie? At that point, I wanted to hurt her, but he begged me and pleaded. And he even paid me $500. What? $500 what? $500? 500 buttons, what? To stay quiet. I took the money and gave it to a homeless person. I am so tired, exhausted, and they need to be locked up. Oh, and he also told me that they stripped him naked and threw his clothes in the trash that night. I'm posting this here so someone else calls the cops because I'm already feeling too many emotions. All right. So you post anonymously on a Facebook group, right? And you're so sick about it, about what this redacted person did to Sebastian, and Chris has bribed you by paying you $500 not to say anything, but you're so sick and you're having nightmares, but yet you can't go to the cops. All right, cool. Yeah. All right. Whilst there is this kind of shit going about that people are believing, like people are believing fake audio, people are sharing this kind of crap around. We're nearly 4 months into this case. The group admins had to approve that garbage. Yeah. If they have their group set where every post has to be approved, then yeah, they have to approve it. Stop getting upset, Michelle. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Because what you see on this channel is factual stuff. So these are the facts here that we all need to remember about Sebastian's case. So the title of this live stream, what we all should know about Sebastian Rogers, are things like this. Now, this came out a few days ago from WKRN.com. And this is from Tennessee. Online predators are targeting people with autism. A Dover councilman wants to change that. This came out, 4 days ago. All right. Olwyn, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Did I have members before? New members? I think I did. Oh, Purple AJ. Thank you. I saw a green thing flash in the corner of my eye, but I was concentrating. So thank you so much once again. You're an absolute star for gifting 10 memberships. So we've got Sue, Linda, Whisper to Me, Gypsy, Angie Baby, Kayla, Butterfly Journey, Jay, and Anna. Thank you so much, Purple AJ. You are beyond superstar. Beyond a superstar. And Olwyn, thank you for the €10. Very kind. Show us the mailbox in daylight. I have done. That's the mailbox in the daylight there. That's the mailbox in the daylight. All right. Okay, so this post interested me, not just because it's from Tennessee, because it's relevant to every location. It's relevant to anybody's family where they've got a child or a young person with autism. And it's terrible. It's terrible. So this is from Dover, Tennessee. More and more people are continuing to fall victims to online predators, with a dramatic increase in online child exploitation over the last 4 years. It can happen to anyone, anywhere, but according to Dover Councilman Alex Berta, predators are increasingly setting their sights on another vulnerable population, young adults who have been diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. So Sebastian, I think, counts as a young adult. He's not an adult, but he's 15, right? So a young person. Well, he served on the city council since December 2022. Berta has spent the majority of his career working in cybersecurity. Many of his investigations have led him to the dark web, where he began noticing the troubling trend around the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are seeing communities standing up like we haven't seen before, on different dark web forums and in chats where it was, let's not target the child, let's target the 18-plus autistic young adult, he said. And I was like, this isn't right. This needs to be stopped. So if they're targeting young people, like 18 to whatever, early 20s, then who's to say that pedos who are targeting children online aren't also targeting autistic children online? I think they are, aren't they? I think they are. You know, those that have, a preference for young adults are going to target young adults with autism. Those that like them younger are going to be targeting those that are younger with autism. Months ago, Berta began working to draft a bill. He's calling it the Autism Spectrum Online Protection Act. Under the bill, it would be illegal for anyone to use an online platform to engage in grooming, sexting, exploitation, sextortion, trafficking, or sexual manipulation with a young adult with autism who is under a conservatorship. I don't know what a conservatorship is. But this is the dude, Alex Berta. This is the dude. All right. Berta said the language of the bill specifically applies to young adults aged 18 to 25 who are under a conservatorship. What's a conservatorship? I'm going to look that up. Oh, okay. All right. So, in legal terms, a conservatorship may refer to the legal responsibilities over a person who has a mental illness, including individuals who are psychotic, suicidal, demented, incapacitated, or in some way unable to make legal or medical decisions. All right. So, if you're caring for someone with autism and you maybe there's some kind of legal thing in place where a responsible adult is overseeing their affairs, like a guardian. Yeah. So like a legally defined guardianship of a young adult. Now, obviously, if that vulnerable person is still a child, at 15, they're a minor. So they're already under guardianship. Right. So this particular bill that this councillor is proposing wouldn't cover the children like under 18 because they've already got a legal guardian, whether that's a parent or someone else. But what I'm trying to put across here is from the online predator's point of view. It doesn't matter whether that guardian is there because they're a minor or because they're a young adult with autism. What matters to that predator is their motivation. So if they've got a preference for younger people, like under the age of 18, and they've clocked on that many, not all, many young people with autism are vulnerable, they start making particular efforts to groom those people. They're an easy kill, aren't they? Like not literally a kill, but they're easy. They're easy to snag. They're easy to persuade. And we know that Sebastian fits that mold. We know that Sebastian's very intelligent. We know that he's into his video games, but he does have a vulnerability. He does have a mindset younger than 15. And to an online predator, he would seem like an easy person to persuade to go out to meet them. Thank you, Flickin, member for 3 months. New members, press the smiley face to use the stickers. The smiley face where it says add emote. So you got your chat publicly, and then you see a smiley face, and you can add emojis. So there's plenty of custom emojis. I can add more. I keep meaning to add more. These are all the custom emojis that we've got so far. But I can add more. Like, I can't remember how many it gives me. It gives you more. The more members you get, the more emojis you're allowed. I'm going to do a map one. I can't remember what other ideas people gave me. Anyway. All right. A young adult that is under a conservatorship may not be able to take care of themselves. They're going to have a parent or guardian, and that predator will put themselves in a place of trust, he said. So they become a trusted part of the family, as a family friend, when they're really manipulating and they're grooming everybody. So if we take this to, the online world, In the old days, before gaming systems, even before the internet, right? I'm old enough, and I'm guessing that many of you are old enough to remember what the world was like before the internet. Well, we still had predators, but what they would have to do is they would have to befriend a child or a young vulnerable person in the real world. The internet has opened lots of doors for everybody. We wouldn't be talking today. I wouldn't be, talking to an audience all over the world today, talking about this very subject. The internet has opened many doors for many people, but there is that dark side to it. So what the internet has served to do is make it easier for predators, so they can target children and vulnerable young people in the real world, in the offline space, by doing all the things that groomers used to do, like befriend a family or get a job as a scoutmaster or in a church, anywhere where young people might congregate and they're in a position of trust. But now we've got this online world where, that children are using video games like Minecraft and Roblox, and they all have that chat facility. And teenagers these days know way more about, the internet and how to bypass controls and stuff like that than adults give them credit for. And even though Sebastian is younger than his years in things like, that he's too trusting, he's perhaps gullible, he's desperate for friends, and he's very sociable, but struggles with social skills. On the converse of that, he's very intelligent. So, he'll be able to play a game as an adult would. So he's a target. He's a massive target. A massive target. You need to do a Kyle emoji. I don't think he'd approve of that. I don't think he'd approve. I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll approve that. Well, thank you, Dulce, a member for 27 months. I need an OG emoji for everybody who's been a member for more than 2 years. You're definitely an OG. Definitely an OG. And CBC, thank you for the $9.99. Predators target special needs kids. His puberty puts him at higher risk. Has seen it as a court stenographer. He was at a bowling alley the night. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was at a bowling alley, yeah. So, did he meet someone in the local community? Is this about online predators, or is this about meeting someone in the local community? Or is it both? Because you could have somebody that he met in the local community and it'd be like, oh, how'd you play games? Yeah. The Act would also require online platforms to implement and enforce policies to prevent, protect, and report any such activities that target young adults with autism. I don't know how they'd do that. I don't know how they'd manage that. The concept has been a major talking point lately, with several Tennessee schools recently joining a lawsuit against multiple social media companies, asking them to do more to protect children. Berta said the people who are targeting young adults with disabilities on these platforms have it down to a formula. Young adults who are on the autism spectrum can be particularly vulnerable as they go online to find a sense of community. This is exactly what Sebastian would be doing. And, at first, thank you, Alwyn. That's so kind. Thank you for the €50. It's so kind. Very generous. Ruby, that audio is nonsense. That audio is fake. Please do not bring conversations like that here. We like to stick to facts here on this channel, not complete and total nonsense that surely the creators who've been playing it over and over again, surely they realize it's fake. Surely. Come on now. There's nothing on that audio. There's nothing on it. Right. You can hear a lot of background noise and you can vaguely hear voices, but you can just be suggested as to what those voices might say and who they might sound like. How do I know it's fake? Because it's fake. I'm telling you, I swear down, it's fake. Prove me otherwise. You're the one making the positive claim, Ruby Slippers. So therefore, you're the one with the burden of proof to prove that it's real. When you come into my chat saying, from the audio I heard, not a stranger, sounds like Katie Proudfoot, that's a positive claim. Therefore, you have the burden of proof to prove that that is actually Katie Proudfoot. So I await your response, Ruby. I await the proof, because if you have verifiable proof that that was Katie Proudfoot on audio that, nearly 4 months later now just magically appears when Seth is under scrutiny, all of these things start to reappear about Katie and Chris. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I find that very interesting timing. And also, what I also find interesting is how goddamn gullible you people are. So, Ruby, where's your proof? Where's your proof? A similar Mystery Sounds video appears in the Idaho 4 case. Yes, and that was fake too. That was fake too. It's happened in a bunch of different cases. Because people are so gullible. I could make that audio in about, I don't know, 10 minutes. I could put audio together that is just basically background noise. And what you do is you just lay a track of people talking, just like random words, over the top of it. And it sounds, it sounds very suggestive. Sounds very suggestive. Exactly, CBC. In my humble opinion, Seth's work schedule would leave Sebastian home alone too much, and neighbours would know. He needs to be not babysat, but monitored and enhanced with healthy instructions. Yes, he does. So at first, we were told that Sebastian didn't have any way to get online. And Chris and Katie were careful with Sebastian's online activity. And I criticised that. I criticised that at first, saying, look, he's a teenager. He deserves to have some freedom. But obviously, they know him best. They know him far better than Seth, because they spend, well, at least Katie does, spends her entire time with him. Whereas Seth only spends a handful of days a month with him. And we've now learned that for 12 to 16 hours, when Seth's working, he leaves Sebastian home alone. That's not even including travel time. So it could be as long as 18 hours that Sebastian is left on his own. So Seth hardly knows him. So Katie knows him the best. So she's concerned about Sebastian's vulnerability online. So she's monitoring and being very careful about Sebastian's use of the internet. So Katie has been protecting him. However, what we've learned is Sebastian was left alone so much at Seth's. We know that he goes on YouTube. We know that he goes on games. We know that people who know Seth have contacted Seth saying, do you know Sebastian's like online? He's like talking to me online. So we know Sebastian was online. Seth didn't know what Sebastian was doing online. I'm not blaming Seth, for allowing Sebastian online. What I am concerned about, though, is just how vulnerable Sebastian was being left alone so long. And for that reason, I'm blaming Seth for leaving him alone that long. He doesn't know his son. He doesn't. Yeah, that's why all Seth's stories are from years ago. Yes, they are. Seth knew his son. He had him for holidays too. Yeah, he had him for holidays, but Seth works full time and he was leaving him alone for 12 to 16 hours at a time. And then Seth has to come home and sleep. So let's say a week or 2 weeks holiday, they're only actually going to be together for a fraction of that time. So no, I don't believe Seth knew his son very well at all. And I do not believe that Seth was an appropriate person for Sebastian to go and live with full time. And clearly Sebastian did not want to go and live there. Why? Because of the online school. So you'd have Sebastian sitting on his own, doing online school, right? Seth would either be at work or he'd be sat in his recliner playing his games, or he'd be sleeping. So Sebastian would be completely isolated and not even have the escapism that school, like actual real school, would afford him. So no, I don't believe Seth knew Sebastian very, very well at all. Yeah, 16 hours at a time. His shifts were 12 hours. So you've got traveling time on top of that. So what? An hour traveling time on top of that, let's say. And then sometimes he had to stay over for 16 hours because they were short-staffed. This is all from Seth's own mouth. This is not a rumor. This is not somebody, who knows Seth telling us. This is Seth himself out of his own mouth. Seth takes Sebastian out fishing and other places too. Ooh, good. I'm glad he does. Great. I'm not saying he doesn't love Sebastian. I'm not saying that he doesn't do some activities with Sebastian. What I'm saying is Seth was leaving Sebastian alone way too much. And that is a red flag when you consider that Sebastian was unsupervised online, a very vulnerable young man. And we know full well that online predators are targeting vulnerable people in Tennessee. This article is about Middle Tennessee. This is exactly where Sebastian lives. Did Seth not work nights? Yes. Karen, he did. He does work nights. So 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then he'd call Sebastian for Sebastian to go to bed. So when it was bedtime, he rang Sebastian for him to go to bed. Do you think that Sebastian would listen? How would Seth know that Sebastian had actually gone to bed? Yeah, there's no way that audio is real. No, that's not audio from a camera. It's fake. I promise you. But I'm still waiting for the proof that it's real And anyhow, Helena, welcome. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. All right, let's carry on with this article. All right, it's about to say people who are targeting young adults with disabilities on these platforms have it down to a formula. Young adults who are on the autism spectrum can be particularly vulnerable as they go online to find a sense of community. They want to be friends with everybody, and the predators were like, I'll be friends with them. I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend. And a lot of these guides that we are seeing on dark web spaces, they have it step by step. So some online predators are advising other online predators about how to do it. When was this article written? 4 days ago. 4 days ago, this came out. June 13th, 2024. 4 days ago. From Middle Tennessee. Dover, Tennessee. Middle TN. Published on WKRN.com. See, these are the facts. These are the facts that we should be focusing on in this case. These are the facts that actually are very real dangers that Sebastian faced in his life. Now, whether he was actually the victim of an online predator is questionable. We don't know, because we don't know what happened to Sebastian. But this is a very real and present danger for all vulnerable young people, not just in Tennessee, but everywhere. Everywhere. So instead of like reading posts like this and going, oh, that fits my confirmation bias, therefore I'm going to believe that this cousin, whoever, you know, oh, well, Chris told them that Katie murdered Sebastian and gave him 500 to stay quiet. Oh, but won't tell the cops. No, so scared they're having nightmares, but so scared that they're having to post anonymously on a Facebook group instead of telling the cops. Yeah, why? Because it's not real. And fake audio coming out. Oh, and there's a voice there. Let me be really suggestible because my confirmation bias makes me think it sounds like Katie. Come on now. These are the actual facts about the dangers of young and vulnerable people online. Sebastian was one of those people. Dear me. Dear me. Dear me. So you want to be friends with everybody, and the predators are like, I'll be friends with them. And a lot of these guides that we are seeing on dark web places, they have it step by step of like, this is what you need to do if you're going to approach somebody with autism. While research on the intersection of victimization and autism is still in its infancy, some studies have shown that autistic individuals are also more vulnerable to abuse. A 2022 investigation by the Autism Research Institute found that 75.4% of participants out of 110 people who reported harassment, and almost 60% reported experiences of violence, compared to 56.4% and 28.2% reported by non-autistic participants. So autistic individuals, 75% of them have reported harassment, compared to 56.4% of non-autistic people. And 60% reported actual violence, compared to just 28.2% of non-autistic participants. That's more than double. You're 50% more likely to have experienced violence if you're autistic than if you are not, according to this one investigation by the Autism Research Institute. Those are the facts that we need to know about this case. What we all need to know about this case. Not fake audio. Not stupid post about a cousin being bribed by Chris Proudfoot and was so guilty that they gave the 500 to a homeless person. And then people on Twitter are like, oh, how can we track down this homeless person? Come on now. Unbelievable. You must have gullible stamped across your forehead if you believe in this shit. These are the facts. This is what everybody needs to know about this case, but not just this case, about vulnerable young people everywhere. This could happen to anybody, anytime. But the more vulnerable a young person is, the more likely they are to fall for some kind of persuasion tactic and grooming. Also a fact, Seth hasn't got his device. The device is back yet. Absolutely. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. In his line of work, Berta said he's noticed that a surprising number of people don't seem to realise the dangers that are lurking just around the corner on the internet. When I first started teaching and talking about this, a lot of people were like, this doesn't happen in my town, he said. But it happens all over the country and it happens in every single neighbourhood. It's not just specific to one area, it happens everywhere. Happens in my area as well. Everywhere. It happens everywhere. Pedos are targeting children online. They're using Minecraft. They're using Roblox. They're using Snapchat. They're using TikTok to contact children online. And then, you know, by the time the average kid gets into their teenage years, they're less gullible. They're probably, I used to work in this area. Right? Don't tell me that I don't know anything that I'm talking about in this area. Just because I'm reading an article from Tennessee doesn't mean to say I've not worked in this area, because I have. And I remember one time the police contacted us at the university with a case. And it was about this young man. He was in his 20s. And he'd been targeting young girls online. And the police had this, they had this massive, like they arrested him for something irrelevant, something unrelated. And when they took his computer, they realized that he'd been in chat rooms talking to young girls and like very suggestive sexualized content. And some of them were adults, like young women, like 18, 19 years old, but some of them were 13, 14 years old. And they gave us pages and pages and pages, like literally a stack of these chat logs. And one thing that really stood out to us all, like when we met and we talked about these chat logs, were that these girls, like sometimes as young as 13 or 14, were basically taking the piss out of him. Like he didn't get to meet any of them because they were winding him up, and it was so obvious. And he was, you know, I don't know, throwing as many darts at a dartboard, and maybe one of them finally will, you know, achieve a hit. But they were taking the piss out of him. The girls as young as 13 were taking the piss out of him. So by the time the average child gets into their teenage years these days, they know that some people online are predators. And they're wise to it. So it's younger kids who get caught out. And then it's the particularly vulnerable kids. So it doesn't surprise me at all that online predators have caught on to the fact that there are certain pockets of young people that are especially vulnerable. And one of those pockets, unfortunately, are people like Sebastian with autism. Maybe Katie knew that full well. Maybe the reason why she was very careful about Sebastian's online use was because she was aware of the dangers. Seth wasn't. Seth appears to be completely oblivious to it. Yeah. TBI presser specifically mentioned predators targeting teenage boys looking for friends. Yeah. And isn't it interesting that recently the TBI did a press conference about an operation they'd done on child predation? Did anybody see that presser? TBI press conference. It's on TBI. It's on YouTube. It's about 20 minutes long. That was recently. You know, since Sebastian's been missing. Okay. There's been several cybersecurity cases Bert has worked where he said there was no justice for the victims, but had something like the Autism Spectrum Online Protection Act being in place, the outcome might have been different. While it's intentionally written broadly at this time, the punishment for those who violate the Act would likely be similar to punishment for the offence of exploitation of a minor via electronic means, which is a Class E felony in Tennessee. In crafting the bill, Berta sought input from the Nashville Anti-Human Trafficking Coalition and We Fight Monsters, a non-profit out of Memphis, along with law enforcement officers, congressmen, senators, and even some lawmakers in Washington, D.C. He's currently working with Senator John Stevens, Huntington, with hopes of soon seeing the bill become a state law. We're working through that progress, Berta said, and then this fall, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Kimberly, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. That's very kind of you. So we've got Graham, 0723 Trinity, Play Nice, Danielle from Texas, and Tina. Welcome, you guys. So we've got 10 new members from Purple AJ, and now we've got 5 new members from Kimberly. Thank you so much. And you new members, month's free membership. There's some cute puppy photos if you want to go and look at them in the members area. They're very cute. Very cute. Should it become law? Berta said he wants to track the bill over a 12-month period to see how it impacts Tennessee. With positive results, he sees the act as potentially being something that could be elevated to a federal level, as it could apply to many people across the nation. It applies to everybody. It applies in every town, in every state, in every county, in every country where children and young people have access to the internet. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have access to the internet. It's got so many positive benefits. There's no reason why children and young people, as vulnerable as they are, shouldn't have access to the internet, but it has to be done in a very careful way. And when you've got people like Sebastian who have all of the, you know, the challenges and the urges and the desires of an average 15-year-old, and, you know, a desire for friends and companionship, and, you know, they're exploring the world, they're exploring their own identity. And Sebastian's no different than anyone else in that regard. But when you have these particularly vulnerable young people, such as those with autism, not all, as many people with autism are more astute than you are or I am. So not all of them, but there are certain pockets of particularly vulnerable people. Sebastian is one. We know he is. Predators aren't just online. Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. There's predators everywhere. It's something that we have to worry about because every child, every young adult, every person is connected to the internet one way or another. And we see it in younger adults and children, he said. I mean, you could go to your local grocery store and just walk around. Every kid and young person is heads down looking at their phone. So that's a proposed bill for Tennessee by this particular person who's called Alex Berta. The reason why I shared it was just as an example of information that's coming out in Tennessee, in the precise area where Sebastian is currently missing, talking about vulnerable young people who have the same condition as Sebastian. And according to this report, there are online predators who are specifically targeting those with autism because they're an easy catch, they're an easy kill, they're easy to persuade, easier to persuade than the average teenager or the average 18-year-old. So those predators that have a preference for a younger person, well, the average teenager is wise to them. So they have to get cleverer. And one of the ways for them to get cleverer is to target specific groups of people. One of them is young people with autism, which Sebastian is. Sebastian is in that group. Did Sebastian have his devices from Seth's house at the Proudfoot's home? No, apart from his phone, he had his own games console at Seth's because Seth's pissed off because the cops have got it. Yeah. If you take the internet away, learn the hard way, they'll connect to neighbours or friends. Yeah. They're far more like young teenagers are far more adept than adults at finding a way onto the internet. But at Seth's, he didn't need to find a way. At Seth's, he was left home alone for lengthy periods of time, probably bored, just, on the games. So he could have been talking to any number of people, any number of them. So I'm going to link this in the chat here for those of you who want to grab it. And I'll link it in the description box for our replay viewers. I just forgotten to do it. Yeah, TBI has that gaming system for a reason. Absolutely. They absolutely do. Now, you would think that, after all this time, perhaps they've been able to track down the people that Sebastian was talking to. Perhaps they've cleared the people that Sebastian was talking to. But we've also got to remember that there are certain apps that are available that you can't track, that are encrypted. Now, Snapchat used to be one of those apps. Snapchat used to be encrypted, and it was causing a massive amount of problems. That, you send a photo or receive a photo and it disappears after, 10 seconds or whatever. So you could be sending people, pornographic images and they just disappear. They disappear into the ether and they're not stored anywhere. So Snapchat changed it. Now, predators are still using Snapchat, but Snapchat did change like the inner workings. So they do like store stuff now. But there are apps now that are totally encrypted that I don't think authorities can track very effectively at all. One of them is Telegram. And if you've been following the Stearns case, we know that Stefan Stearns had a Telegram account. So what was he doing on that Telegram account? 5 minutes a day checking your children's devices could save a lifetime of trauma. Yeah, absolutely. And just being aware of what apps they've got on their phone is a start. You know, if they've got apps like Telegram, I mean, I don't know all of the apps that young people use. I'm far too old. But it's possible Sebastian could have been contacted either in the real world or online and directed to a particular app that was encrypted. And it could be a real problem for tracking down who Sebastian was actually in communication with. Hi, Michelle. Could you please tell us if law enforcement released any information on the body that was found at the cemetery near Tennessee or Hendersonville? It wasn't near Hendersonville. It was in Henderson County. It's a 16-year-old male. I don't know whether the name's been released, but the family were informed. It's not Sebastian. I heard that it was someone who'd taken their own life, but that was just what I heard. But what I did find out, what has been released, is that it was a 16-year-old boy, and the family were informed. I'll show you my body. Okay. So this is from Sardis in Tennessee. So it's Henderson County, not Hendersonville. 16-year-old child found dead in Sardis Cemetery. Henderson County Sheriff's Office currently investigating 16-year-old boy found deceased Friday morning at the Spring Hill Cemetery in Sardis. The Sheriff's Office is reserving comment at this time. It's an unfortunate tragedy that has left some unsettled and wondering what caused this to occur. Sources say that a 13-year-old girl found the body and her mother dispatched it to the police. It's unclear at this time how the child ended up in the cemetery. Last recorded burial at the Spring Hill Cemetery was 2004. As of now, the body has not been identified. However, what we do know is that the family of that boy were informed. So the ID has not been made public. Burton S. Staggs, who is a reporter, talked about it on Facebook. Oh, didn't know that. So there's a search for Crystal Rogers, Kentucky. Where is it? These people post so much. So it'll be from like 2 days ago. Oh. Nick Burris and I were talking today about this case and the deceased teen found in Anderson County. The teen is not Sebastian. The Anderson County Sheriff tells me the teen has local ties. Nick tells me that the Sumner County Sheriff's Office say they are aware of this message making its way around social media. They're telling Nick they're looking into it. They're taking the tips seriously. Of course they're taking the tips seriously. Is this a real tip? No. This is nonsense. Summer Wells. He did have another post about it. Here we go. All right. 16-year-old male found dead near cemetery in Henderson County. Body of a 16-year-old was located in Sardis. Details remain limited, but Henderson County Sheriff Brian Duke confirmed the body was located. According to locals, the body was found by another teen who lives in the area. ID has not been released. Okay, so he says, I'll tell you guys what I know. It's not Felicia Parry. It's not Sebastian Rogers. It's not somewhere else. No need for the public to be concerned for their safety. Just use this time to pray for a family who has lost someone. So, yeah. So that's from Burton Staggs. So, not Sebastian. And that comes from the sheriff of Henderson County. Yeah, at least the family can lay him to rest. Yeah. Predators are always one step ahead. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. And if they lock one, if they lock one app down, they just move on to another. And the apps do have parental controls, but it's about knowing what apps your child is actually using. Not all parents are tech savvy, that's true. And the more you learn, the worse it gets, in a way. It's pretty bad. That's true. Also, walks with dogs. Checking phones is good, but there are apps that hide stuff and apps that delete stuff. Yeah, and also there's apps that look like other apps. So, do you remember the Chris Watts case? And Chris Watts was communicating with Nicole Kessinger on the Secret Calculator app. And it's an app that has a chat function, like you can communicate via it. But to anybody just checking your phone, it just looks like a calculator. And it is a calculator, but you have to put in a code. Once you put in a code, it opens up the actual app. So, Chris Watts had that on his phone to chat to Nicole Kessinger, just in case Shanann checked his phone and she'd just think that app was a calculator. You've got a calculator secret vault. There you go. There you go. And there's loads of them. Go onto your App Store or whatever, Google Store, whatever you have, and type in Secret Calculator app. The audio that's going around that just sounds like air. Yeah, it's fake. I mean, look, it could be from a real Ring camera. It could be a real camera, but it's been altered. It's been altered so that it sounds like you've got Chris and Katie talking. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. You just take some white noise or sound from a camera and you overlay the voices and you tone down the voices and you play with them a little bit in an audio app. And hey presto, you've got something that sounds convincing to those that are particularly gullible. Those that have, the confirmation bias. That, Chris and Katie did something. And it's so telling that all of this new stuff, like new audio and this cousin coming out who Chris blackmailed, or bribed. Nonsense. The actual facts, the things that we absolutely all should know and all should remember about this case is that Sebastian, in many ways, was just a normal, regular teenager. But in other ways, he was very vulnerable, and his social skills and his trusting nature was younger than his years, which makes him an incredibly vulnerable person. Yeah, it's just like Photoshop, but sound, yeah. But you can have, you can have real images, but you just tweak them. So it might be real camera audio, but you tweak it to make it sound like it's saying what you want it to say. It's really not difficult to do. I could do that in 10 minutes and release it and get loads and loads and loads of views because, I've got an inside source. Am I going to do that? No, of course I'm not. Even though my factually based videos get a fraction of the views that this drama nonsense gets or these fake audio things get. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not. Because I'm not here just to get views. I'm here to talk about the case and to talk about the actual facts of the case or the issues that are important to the case. And the issues that are important to this case are Sebastian's demographic, that he's a young man. He's in every way a normal teenager, has the same drives, the same motivations, the same interests as just an average teenager. Yet he does have the very, very important vulnerabilities. And we can't forget that. I have a conscience, I do. There's no way that I could put something out that I knew was fake or even suspected was fake. I'm sure these creators who are making, they're making bank on these fake audio and, this and that. I honestly can't. I can't deal with it. And, the lights thing. The lights thing. Look, I've been very clear with this lights thing. Hold on. What am I doing here? All right. Not that one. This one. These lights. Why is it not sharing? There we go. That one. This video. Now, this is a real video. We know it's a real video. But what we don't know is what time it was. We don't know what time it was. So even though this is a real video, because we don't know what time it was, the time stuck on 24/2/23. So 24th of February, 2023 at 3:11:04, because it's stuck a year ago. We don't know what time this was at. So we've only got Nick Berris's word. And I do believe Nick Barris. I don't believe Nick Barris would put something out without at least checking that it was from the correct night, right? Although he was, you know, he spread out the rumor that it was flashlights, but we've only got his word that this video was from the correct night. Now, this was from the same night, the same camera, but we don't know which night. Like it was from the same camera with the same timestamp, but we don't know what time it was at. And we don't know whether it was, I don't know, could have been 11 p.m. on the 25th, somebody getting dropped off. So somebody just pulled in. And because we only get this small snapshot, we only get like a few seconds. We don't know whether that sat there for a couple of minutes while somebody got out and then it drove away, and it's completely irrelevant to the case. We don't know. What we do know is that it's a real video. We do know it's a real video. But everything else we're speculating on. Thank you, The Quiet Observer, for the 10 Australian dollars. That's very kind of you. And welcome, Canada Lift. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Thanks for joining. People who make these fake audios and put them on the so-called true crime channels. Yeah, exactly. They're not here to help victims. They're here to, you know, I don't know, fund their lifestyle. And we all make money on YouTube, but you've got to do it ethically. Was the audio disrupted? Was the record, what, this recording? Was this recording disrupted? You see, the thing is, we've got like a minute here of this light from this vehicle, and it is a vehicle. It is something. It is something. What we don't have though is the full file. You know, I'd like to have the file, let's say from midnight to 6 a.m. let's just say, and be able to watch the whole thing, so we'll be able to know what time, or at least that these two events are on the same night, and then we'd be able to work at an approximate time. So even if this is the same night, it could literally be somebody just dropping someone home. We don't know. It's suspicious. Absolutely, it's suspicious. Was it a continuous video? Well, this is just a minute. So it is a continuous video, yeah. Like, it's not jump cut. But what I'm saying is it's only a small, like, portion of it. And then this person who's filming it zooms in just to be extra annoying. So you've got a headlight or tail light there. And then you've got the light from it. And that's all you have. So there's no jump cuts in it. All right, so it's about 34 seconds. So we don't know how long it stays there. We only know from the neighbour that JLR interviewed that there was a truck there, or a vehicle, that parked for 3 to 5 minutes at something past 3. So that's Kelly neighbour who told us that. You know, I think her name's Bobby, who spoke to JLR last week. And she said that in addition to the trash truck lights at something past 5, there was this other vehicle that stopped there at something past 3 for 3 to 5 minutes. So we're assuming it's this. We're assuming that this video is that, but we don't know that it is because the timestamp is stuck. We're just assuming, and we're assuming what this neighbour, Kelly neighbour, said is true. We've got a whole lot of assumptions. Yes, it's suspicious. It's something that we need to bear in mind because it's not fake. This video isn't fake. It absolutely isn't fake. The cops have confirmed it isn't fake, but they failed to say what it actually is, like referring to the trash truck lights. But this is in a different, it's in a different category than this kind of thing, where somebody posts anonymously. Somebody just posts anonymously that Chris Proudfoot gave them 500 to stay quiet about who murdered Sebastian. You know, a completely different league, because at least we know that this video is real. What we don't know is the actual specifics of the time, and we don't know how long this vehicle actually stayed there. But at least the video is real, so at least it's a valid discussion point, rather than fake, like people posting anonymously saying they're having nightmares, but yet don't want to go to the cops, or fake audio. Those are the things that I have a problem with. Those are the things that I have a problem with. Yeah, the daytime video. Yeah, it would be great to get a daytime shot from this camera. It would be great to get that. Because then it would be, you know, the exact same angle from the exact same camera in the daytime, and then it would be easy to overlay this nighttime shot onto the daytime shot. You know, like we did with the lights in the Kylie Rodney case. I did a version of it. Gray Hughes did it. There was a number of creators that did their own versions of it. And because we were able to get what that fire camera looked at in the day, we're able to get the exact same like location, angle and everything. So it was easy to overlay a daytime, like get the daytime and then overlay the video from the nighttime onto it, so that you could see approximately where the lights, what direction they were at, what road they were on, and we could get the exact time when Kylie's car entered Prosser Reservoir. But without having the daytime shot from that exact camera, from the exact, you know, angle, you can't do it. I know Gray Hughes has tried using Google Earth. He's tried to work out where the lights were. So it was obvious that this light is a little pinprick light, and then there's a couple of floodlights over here, but you can't really tell what house it's at. I think it's this one, but I thought it was this one at first, but I think it's this one. And then the lights on Honeysuckle are over here somewhere. But you can only get, you know, an approximate mapping on. So the overlay that Gray did, it's not precise. It's not precise enough. But if we had a shot from the actual camera, right, rather than just taking Google Earth, a shot from this actual camera of what this camera actually sees in the daytime, then it would be very, very easy to overlay. So we'd know precisely where the lights were, and we know precisely where that truck, this truck, or whatever this vehicle is, where that came from, or where exactly where it was positioned. So we know it must have come from Kellen, but exactly where it's positioned. I don't think it actually matters exactly where it was positioned anyway. I think what's more important is the time, is knowing what time it was at. So, do you think the police will have... Hold on a minute. Do you think the police will have done that? Yeah, the police have done that because they showed Seth what that scene looks like in the daytime, so that they could show Seth exactly where those lights were. So yes, Seth said that they'd shown him the daytime imagery. Is that supposed to be the parked car? No. The light is the car or truck, whatever. So that's either a headlight or a tail light, and that's the beam from that light. That's the mailbox there, and then that's the truck in the driveway. Oh, yeah. I actually think the police will have done everything in this case, despite even me getting irritated by the lack of progress. Absolutely. I mean, look at the Rachel Morin case. Has anybody been following the Rachel Morin case? Thank you, Shaker Maker, for the £4.99. Pounds, my currency. I do try to keep it real. And if I make a mistake, I say so. We all make mistakes. If I get something wrong, like originally, I thought this was a truck. Originally, I really thought this was a truck, but it's not. It's the mailbox. You know, it's a work in progress, as any investigation is. But yeah, the Rachel Morin case, I mean, it was what, last year? And they got a DNA hit from a home invasion from California. So Rachel was murdered in Maryland. And it was like last year. And then, what was it, 2 days ago? They had this massive press conference and they've got the guy. And how long did it take for them to track him down? Months and months and months to track him down. And they had his DNA. They knew two crime scenes at opposite sides of the country, Maryland and California, where he'd left DNA at the scene, one a home invasion, one a murder. They had the guy's DNA, and guess what solved it? Investigative genetic genealogy. So it took them months to wait for a hit. So they put his DNA into a genetic database and then waited for a hit. And because he's from El Salvador, that would have added a whole extra level of complexity because they had to work with the El Salvador government. And, you know, his relatives and ancestors would have been from El Salvador or, you know, around that region of the world. So that added a greater level of complexity. But finally, through investigative genetic genealogy, they were able to work out who the dude was and arrest him. So, you know, these very complex investigations, even where there's DNA, difficult to solve. This dude was wanted for murder in El Salvador, entered the United States illegally. So therefore, he's not on the CODIS database because he's an illegal immigrant. And he's wandered into the United States, committed a home invasion where a 9-year-old girl and her mother were terrorized. And then he's committed a murder in Maryland. What else has he done? What else has he done in the interim? Yeah, he'd murdered another woman in El Salvador. Yeah, so he'd left his home country of El Salvador, having committed a murder, got into the United States, been rampaging, like gone from California to Maryland. He was picked up in Oklahoma. What else has he done? What else has that dude done? How many other cases are out there where he's been a little bit more sensible, shall we say, and not left his DNA at the scene? There could be way more victims of this guy, but his DNA wasn't in a database because he's not a US citizen. He's never been picked up in the US, so his DNA wasn't in CODIS. But they got him through investigative genetic genealogy. There was another one. I was trying to think as I was listening to the presser. I was trying to think who else. There was another case. Very similar. I know it. Danilo Cavalcante. Hadn't he'd escaped, or not escaped, but he'd come to the US having committed, was it a murder? He'd done something serious in his home country. And then he'd come to the US and ended up committed murder in the US. Yes, Spider-Man. Yeah. Yeah, it's Danilo. I was trying to think when that press conference was on. I was trying to think who else did that? Who else escaped from their home country, made it into the US, and then ended up in the system? Who else was it? And it was Danilo. Killed his girlfriend, yes. Killed his girlfriend. And then Spider-Man up the side of the jail wall and escaped. Only to be taken down by a Belgian Malinois who bit the top of his head. Taken down by the Maligator. Follow the Rachel Morin case and the Karen Reid trial, plus Sebastian and Summer. And Delphi, which has been really quiet lately. Yeah, it's just the occasional motion coming out. It's because they've like put the trial forward to October, so all of the malarkey has died down for a bit. It'll start ramping up again. Any updates on Audrey's case? No, not that I know of. Not that I've heard. Hold on. Let's have a look. Audrey Cunningham. Audrey Cunningham latest. What, you're not even going to bother trying doing that now? There we go. Funeral. No. That dude's in jail. So there'll be a trial at some point. Let's do last month. Death penalty still considered for Livingston Man. What we know about Audrey Cunningham. Three days ago. So listen to this. Just going to give me the spinning wheel of death, are you?
In the courtroom, a plea hearing was reset this morning at the Polk County Judicial Center for Don Stephen McDougal, the main suspect in the death of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham. As KTRE's Terry White reports, the state anticipates pressing for the death penalty.
11-year-old Audrey Cunningham was reported missing on February 15th after she didn't get on her school bus. After a 6-day search, the 5th grade Livingston ISD student's body was found in the Trinity River. The community of Livingston and surrounding cities poured love into Audrey's memory, hosting candlelight vigils and even honoring her life with a scholarship. Cell phone analysis, videos collected, and info from McDougal led law enforcement to the location of her body. An autopsy revealed Cunningham died of homicidal violence, including blunt head trauma, according to a Harris County medical examiner's report. This morning, that main suspect in her death, Don McDougal, was set to appear in the Polk County Judicial Center for a plea hearing, but due to his attorney filing a waiver of arraignment, he didn't have to show. McDougal's plea hearing will be reset to August 21st, giving his counsel time to gather medical records needed in the case. Polk County District Attorney Shelley Sidden says at this time, the state anticipates pressing for the death penalty, but they won't know for sure until they return to court on August 21st, after both sides have the evidence. Tyree White, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
There you go. So, at a hearing just rescheduled until August 21st. So, no, basically, nothing new. But they intend to seek the death penalty. I imagine that they will seek the death penalty. Lake and Riley. How do I know that name? Why do I know that name? University of Georgia jogging path. The mailbox isn't a truck. It's not. It's a mailbox. I promise you. A truck can't park there because there's a mailbox in the way. Yeah, what a deep voice. Yeah, what did a very deep voice. Oh, 17-year-old teenager missing in Churchill. Oh, that's Caden. Yeah. Caden. I mentioned Caden the other day in a video. Yeah, he's still missing. Been missing since June the 5th. Still missing. I checked on his case this morning. Sadly, it's still missing. There's a young girl missing as well. Hold on a minute. Let me find it. I know who's. So Chloe shared this. Hold on, just let me find it. Here we go. So Cassandra Russell, 15 years old, white female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'2", 202 pounds, missing from Greenville in Tennessee. So that's very close to Summerwells area. No information on what she was last wearing. So Greenville Police Department, 423-639-7111, or of course the TBI on 1-800-TBI find. So that's Cassandra Russell, missing from Greenville. And Caden Hatley. Let me just get Caden Hatley. Now, we don't have very much information about these people because unless they become unless people in the family speak out, you tend not to get very much information. So Hawkins County Sheriff's Office is attempting to locate a missing 17-year-old juvenile. Caden Hatley was last seen in Churchill, Tennessee on June the 5th. His phone has been off since then. If you've got any information on Caden's whereabouts, contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI find. So that's Caden, 17, brown hair, blue eyes, 6'1", 156 pounds, 17 years old. Now, Cassandra, when was she reported missing? So missing since the 25th. Oh, my word. Since the 25th of April. Oh, my word. I only saw this because Chloe, Sebastian's former PI, Seth's former PI, I should say, reported this. It's been missing since April. 4/25/24, April 25th. Wow. But yeah, she's a missing child. She's not endangered. You've not got her on endangered or a Amber Alert. Just weird. Any news on Elijah Vu? No, not as far as I know. I can check. Elijah Vu. No. Questions linger for police neighbours. Police address rumours. It's from May. I don't think we'll hear any more about this case until they find him. Other than, you know, the cases for the abuse are going to be, you know, going through the court system. But why are you giving me all these ads? Go away. How could I close that? Oh my God, right. I'm not having it. I'm trying another one. Okay. Oh, dear me. Reaches 3 months. So this is from May. Monday marks 3 months since 3-year-old Elijah Vu was reported missing. Soon after police began the search, on Feb 20th, both his mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, were arrested. They remain jailed on child neglect charges. Prosecutors say Bauer sent her son to stay with Vang at his Two Rivers apartment to learn discipline. So we know all of that, don't we? We know all of that. Two Rivers Police Chief Ben Minert told Fox 11 last month that the search for Elijah Vu had taken officers to some unpleasant places. Search had been narrowed to a 15 to 20 square mile area around Two Rivers. I don't want to sign up for a newsletter. For God's sake, I hate these pop-ups. Well, that's a lot. That's hardly narrowing it down. That's hardly narrowing it down. 15 to 20 square miles. That's a big area. So they found the blanket. Surveillance cameras for a Nissan Altima. So we know all that. That's the vehicle. Anything found maybe related to the case should be reported by calling 1-844-267-6648 or through the Manitowoc County Crime Stoppers online. Rewards totaling $40,000 are being offered in this case. So Elijah, 3 years old. Can you believe it? So no new news. Yeah, I think he's in Lake Michigan. So do I. What? I'm not ignoring anybody. What are you talking about? Look, if you think it's a truck, then you think it's a truck. It's fine. I'm just saying. Michelle, look in your mail. There's no doubt it's a truck. All right, I'm going to have a look. Where have you even got that from? You just noticed on Grandma's watching thumbnail, there's a much clearer picture of the truck. I've attached this to the email. But that's photoshopped. Hold on. But that's Photoshop. That's not the same. Like Chris is, that's from the Nancy Grace interview. So that's not an actual image. I'm struggling here. It is photoshopped. Look, Chris is photoshopped into the picture. And this mic is photoshopped into the picture. It's photoshopped. Now, what else has been photoshopped in the image? If Chris has been superimposed onto the image, what else has been Oh dear. Look, if you think it's a truck, it's fine. Great, good for you. If you think it's a truck, nice one. If you think it's a truck. So you've got Chris from Nancy Grace, you've got a microphone, and then you've got this in the background. It changes the camera position that you were using. What are you talking about? Right. Right, let me just shut some of these. Let me just shut all these windows down. I've got far too many things. I nearly shut StreamYard down now. Hold on. Right, I'm going to get the video. Right, so that's the video. Okay. I'm just going to put these two side by side. Okay. All right, now I'm going to have to share this a different way. I don't even know why I'm doing this because I don't actually care. If it's a truck, it's a truck. I personally think it's the mailbox because of the positioning. All right. All right, so this is the screenshot from the camera, right? That's a screenshot. You just saw me take. All right, so there's the two trucks. All right, it's not a different angle. But why is that one like tons clearer? Where's this come from? Where's this come from? Like this has come directly from the video. You saw me take the screenshot from the video. but it looks to me, there's that car there, right? Yeah, same. Oops. Oops. Right, there's that car, exactly the same position. There's that truck, exactly the same position. So how come those are two really clear there, clearer there, so clear you can actually see the wheel of that, like way clearer. And then you've got this grainy thing. How come that has suddenly become mega clear? How come? So where's it come from? Where's this photo come from? The photo from the thumbnail has been enhanced. There's no way that you could enhance that to appear to be that. That has to have come from that the same camera. It's the same angle. That truck's on the same angle. That truck's on the same angle. So you're going to have to show me where that's come from. Because we know where that's come from. That's a screenshot from a video. So where's that come from? And even if it's a truck, what does that prove? What does it prove? So what's that thing? And oh God. I don't know, you guys. I still think that's a mailbox. All right, let's look at the map. See, what you can't do is go up this driveway, so you can't see from this side what the mailbox looks like. But it's just the way. The reason why I think it's a mailbox isn't because of its shape, it's because of its positioning. That it's directly across from this light, or almost directly across from this light. The lights from the truck that just appear show this area. So it's just the position of it, to me, makes me believe it's the mailbox. If it's not the mailbox, it doesn't kind of matter. If there's a truck parked here, like this truck, for example, this truck could have been parked there in front of the, like, obscuring the mailbox. Absolutely, it could. It could be that very truck. What difference does that make, though? What difference does it make? I personally think it's the mailbox because of its position. But it could be a truck. It could be that truck parked there. So you don't see the mailbox. You see, instead of seeing the mailbox, you see this truck. But it's still in the same position. Because you've got this light from this house. And you've got this area of the drainage ditch. So what difference does it make what it is? It could be that truck. That very truck there. Parked there. Could be. Absolutely could be. But it doesn't matter. It makes a positional difference for a proper location of the suspect vehicle. We know what, right, we don't even know if it's a suspect vehicle. And we know what camera it comes from. The fact we know it comes from this camera, we know where, if you want to call it a suspect vehicle, where this comes from. This. We know where it is. It's in front of that house. Now, whether it's on the road, whether it's on the verge, whether it's half and half, it doesn't matter. We know what position, we know where it was. So it doesn't matter if this is a truck or if this is a mailbox. We know where this is positioned anyway. Oh, I don't get that. Mailbox on the street view is on the driver's side. Mailbox on the video is on the passenger side. What are you talking about? We don't know what position this vehicle's in, though. Schrodinger's mailbox. We don't know what position this vehicle is in, so we don't know whether that's a tail light or whether that's a headlight. We just know that it's across from the house that has the camera. And we know it's in the approximate location of this light. So we know where it is. So working out whether this is a mailbox or a truck is irrelevant to the position of this vehicle. It's a tail light on the right. All right, so if it's a tail light, okay. So what it's done, if it's a tail light, what it's done is possibly driven up here and then reversed around, and then parked, like reversed around the corner and then parked there. So it appears that it just switches on, but it's not. It just comes into the frame of the camera and then parks there. But it can't be. It can't be there. It can't be there. I'm looking completely on the wrong road. Okay. If I'm looking on the wrong road, then we still don't know what time it's at. We know it's the same camera as the flashlights video. We know it is. So we know it's the same camera. If it's the wrong road, then the flashlights video has come from completely the wrong road as well. You are looking up the road on the left. Don't know what that means. So this I'm going to have to get rid of that. This is a screenshot from Nick Barris's flashlights video. All right, this is a screenshot from the flashlights video. And you see, it's got exactly the same timestamp, 3:11:04. All right. The reason why you didn't see these cars in the flashlights video is because Nick Barris only released only released this. That bit. So you got a little bit of that truck. You don't get this, whatever this is at all. And you get the light, which turns out to be the light above a garage. You get the floodlights, which are on a house further up Stafford. And then what Nick Berry's calls subject 2, you get coming across here. Right, and then moving back. But actually, the full screen is this. Exactly the same as this. Floodlights, little light, and this, which you saw me do a screenshot from, 31104. So whatever that says, 284,999K, right? So 284,999K. So that is the same camera. It's the same camera. Now, we don't know what time because the timer's stuck, but it's the same camera. It's the same scene. Now, Nick Berry's flashlights video, the cops confirmed to Seth and Chris that it was from that night, even though the timer stuck. It was from that night. Now, so when the flashlights, the quote-unquote flashlights that we now know to be a garbage truck at something past 5, when that was released, they only released, Nick Berry only released a little tiny portion of it. But the cops know it's from that night. So what we can then conclude is that I've got so many screenshots now, this is driving me insane. We can then conclude that this video from the same camera is possibly, well, we know it's from the same camera. We know it's from the same camera. We can't confirm it's from the same night. We can confirm it's from the same camera because it's exactly the same trucks, exactly the same lights, exactly the same light there. The only thing that's different than Nick Berry's flashlights video is that you get this light arriving. So we know where that camera was. We know where that camera was. It's not on the wrong road. It's not on the wrong road. So whether that's the mailbox or whether that's a truck, like, for example, this truck, could be this truck, just parked a little bit further down so you don't see the mailbox. It doesn't matter. Because it's this camera and it's captured a vehicle either backing in or driving in to this area. What are you talking about? It's the black truck. Yes, there's a black truck as well. Oh, I can't anymore. There is a black truck there as well. There is. There. There's a dark coloured vehicle there. There's a darker coloured truck there with, I don't know whether that's a dark coloured truck with a white cabin or what. And then you've got this truck. If you're telling me that's an actual truck, you're going to have to tell me why that's mega clear when it's the same camera image as this. Not that one. As this. You're going to have to tell me why it's a lot clearer than this. So, honestly, the thing you call the mailbox is the black truck. That's, look, from your own screenshot that you've sent me, how is that black? How is that black? Nick used a phone camera. Okay, but who released... All right, who released this video then? See, this is the thing with all these, leaked videos. Who released this? Because this is the full screen. Who released this? Who released this video? Because Nick didn't release this video. We know it's from the same camera, but Nick didn't release this video. Nick released the video with the moving flashlights. Well, it's not flashlights, the garbage truck, but what he called the flashlights. But we know the location of this camera. So again, whether this is a mailbox or whether this is a truck parked in front of the mailbox, it doesn't matter. We've still got this truck appearing around this corner, and we know what corner it was. No, a black truck won't show up white. I don't care. I don't care whether it's the mailbox or a truck. I don't care what colour the truck is. What we know, what we absolutely know, is that this is the camera on the corner of Stafford Court and Kelling Lane. Pretty sure Bobby's the leaker. Well, how did Bobby get her hands on it? The video was released from a lady on FB who got it straight from the homeowner. So this is straight from the homeowner, is it? This one. Straight from the homeowner. If it is, then how come this video quality is a lot worse than this screenshot that's had Chris's face superimposed on it? So, does it matter? This is the question. Does it matter whether this is a white truck or a black truck or even a mailbox? Does it matter? Given that we know the position of where this camera is, and we know it's on the corner of this house. So we know that if the camera's this one, we know the position of this quote-unquote suspect vehicle. And again, we don't even know whether it's that night. We don't even know because the timer's stuck. We don't know what time it was at, and we don't even know it was the same night. We know it's the same camera, therefore it's the same location, but we don't even know whether it's the same night. Anyway, I'm going to go now because the Karen Reid trial is due to start. In 10 minutes. It does matter. You're looking at the wrong road. Well, it's not. It can't be the wrong road. If we're saying that the camera is that one on the corner of Stafford and Kelling, that's the road. So I don't think, Bridget, I don't think it was one of the trucks across the road pulling into their drive. I think it's pulling onto the verge near. I think the lights would be further away if it was on the drive. The same road captured the garbage trucks. Yeah, the same camera would have captured the garbage trucks, yeah. Which also has screwed up the time on cameras. That the time on the camera is, hold on a minute. The time on the camera is 24:02:23. So it's been stopped for over a year. For whatever reason, the clock stopped working on their camera in February 2023. But anyway, I'm going to go now because Karen Reid trial's due to start. So I'll be back at 6 p.m. my time, which is going to be in about 4 hours, with the Stearns files. Might just be the homeowner across the street going to work. Could be if they parked on the verge. It could well be. We don't know. We don't know what that vehicle was doing. We don't know if it was the same night. We don't know if it was a suspicious vehicle. We don't know how long it stayed there. We don't know what time it arrived, what time it left. We don't know anything about it. What we do know is what the camera was. All right. Thank you, Wanderlust, for the $9.99. Thank you so much. And I'm going to see you on this channel in 4 hours for the Stearns files. Pinch or Paxton. It's not the wrong road. You're going to have to convince me it's which camera is that. But I'm going to go now. Thanks, mods. Thanks for the donations. Welcome, new members. I'll see you in 4 hours. Bye.